Yo, yo, yo. What's up? What's up, chat? Good morning. Good day. How are you? It's good to be here. It's good to see everybody. Day 9. Is that what we're on? Is that what we're on? Day 9? I'm pretty sure. I looked at it this morning. Now I can't remember. Planescape Torment, Day 9. Yeah, man. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Hope everybody's day's going well. Go ahead and do what we do. Hop into this video gaming news segment. And then we'll continue our playthrough, man. Cool? Let's get it. All right. We've talked about all the PlayStation Plus stuff coming, free games, things of that nature. I'm not going to dive back into it right now. I'm just not going to do it. Return to Monkey Island dev refusing to talk about toxic fans. Okay, take a look at that. We talked about the Sony peripherals from monitors, specifically monitors and headsets mainly. They're not just producing this stuff as a PlayStation promotional kind of accessory anymore. Even though they obviously are built around a lot of PlayStation use, they are also being promoted as very PC friendly devices. So I don't know. Take a look, do your research. We've took a dive into them within the past few days, couple of times. Took a look, and I don't know. We'll get some probably some reviews on the stuff here coming up in the near future as well, and see what the reviews say about some of these products. I've traditionally enjoyed Sony products. I have a Sony TV. I have a Sony headset that I use. Um, I feel like with Sony though, you've got to. I like Sony products. I feel like they're dependable, but you're also quite often paying for Sony's name. So you've got to really kind of shop around a bit to get a good price on something that you're looking to grab. I feel like otherwise you're quite often just paying for the name above what you're getting potentially quality wise. Even though again, I feel like Sony traditionally is a pretty good quality item. Um, the name that you pay for tags on quite a bit more for the price. Mmm, love that Java. That's hot Java this morning. Yep, yep. We've kind of hit on all this over the previous couple of days. So go back and look at June 29th and June 28th edition of Video Gaming News if you want some more info regarding these things. Looks like we have another game built around making payers play money to get what they want outside of just paying for the game initially. So let's take a look at this. Xbox fans calling for the end of games with gold. We already hit on the reported claim that Bethesda's no longer got a crunch culture. Not going to dive into that. Owner of itch.io accuses newly launched alternative. How are you supposed to W3 itch.io for selling their apparently itch.io's games without the creator's consent? We'll see what that's going. What's going on there. Valve has quietly downgraded the Steam Deck solid state drive. Take a look there too. Enthusiast gaming executives seek CEO's resignation. Wonder what's happening there. The amount of articles right off the bat this morning. Intriguing, intriguing. All right. Yeah, we've already hit on this stuff. Yeah, we've got that pulled up. Lost Ark players apparently have some new Twitch Prime gaming loot. So if you're playing Lost Ark, don't forget to, and you have Twitch Prime, don't forget to log into your Twitch Prime gaming account and grab your free in-game loot. Okay. Let me pull this up real quick. We'll skim this. Mario Rabbids Spark of Hope will feature music from something. And in other news, Pokemon Go creator Niantic has canceled something. So let's pull that up real quick. Epic Game Store giving away surprise bonus free game. Take a look there. Pivot. Go into our other search. See if we can find anything else that we need to hit on this morning. We've already got something pulled up on this. We've hit on these already. This was an amazing article. I'm actually going to pull this up and throw this in chat real quick. Dude, this got me in the feels yesterday reading this article. We pulled this up 2 days ago. I wasn't able to read it 2 days ago though because we needed to finish the news up in order to get to the Nintendo Direct showcase in time. But it hurt me to read this article, and I feel so bad for this individual. What I would say is that if you're going to learn anything, I think from reading this article, or even go back and we read the almost the entire thing yesterday at the it's the very last thing that we went over from yesterday's news segment. So if you don't want to read it yourself, you just want to listen, I will read it to you. If you go look at yesterday's video gaming news segment, go to the very last thing we cover. I will read this article to you. Go check it out on YouTube. It's a great article. I think if there's anything to take away from this is um, there's a few things. There are a lot of very passionate people within the video gaming industry. And quite often drastic times will bring like-minded people together, and this is one of those occasions where that definitely happened, and it was nice to see that. What happened still was incredibly horrific, and for what this happened to this individual, and as a video gaming collector and enthusiast, it was terrible. I think another thing to take into heart here as a lesson from this article is if you are very, if you're a collector of things, or if you have things that are potentially worth an amount of either sentimental or real world value, and you're potentially going to be destroyed by losing those things, it however that could happen, protect them to the greatest extent possible. Find a way that I mean, I don't know if it's getting them into some lock boxes, making sure that the lock boxes are in a vault somewhere that's fireproof or something like that. You know, waterproof, fireproof things. I don't know. I don't know what the play is, but do the very best you can to protect those items and those things to ensure that you won't end up in a situation where the same as Mr. Broussard's here was. I think also is you can't be too careful. I think that's a good play there. Um, he was people. It seems to me like with the way that obviously this collection that Mr. Broussard had was very valuable. He was very proud of it, but he was also not hesitant to show it off. He loved showing people what he had collected. It was his pride and joy, and I understand that, but you just can't inherently trust absolutely everybody. And it wasn't somebody that he knew that did this, but it ultimately, I think, potentially resulted in somebody finding out about these very valuable items he had and how to get into his shop and get to them very quickly. Gamer, what's up, buddy? But I definitely recommend taking a look or at least going to the news segment yesterday, the June 29th edition of Video Gaming News on YouTube, and at least letting me read it to you because it's a great article. It's pretty wild. How are you, buddy? We've got an article about this pulled up. We've already talked about that yesterday as well. And Atari turning 50, we've talked about. Yeah, we've talked about this past couple of days too. Cancelled Donald Duck video game footage leaks online. Oh, man. Talked enough about Diablo Immortal, I'm not getting into that. Doing all right for 5:30 in the morning. Yeah, yeah, dude. I know. That's what I get up at roughly like 5 every morning, dude. I feel you. I feel you, my dude. Yeah, man. Yeah, I had a rough time wanting to get up this morning, man, for sure. Yeah, I was uh I was hurting a little bit. Had a nice workout, dude, at the end of the day yesterday, and that wore me out. And I went to the pool for a little bit too, and got some sun, and was just kind of spent, man. At the end of the day, like I could feel it, man. I was so tired, like my eyes were hurting. And so by the time my alarm went off this morning, I was just like, oh, just just 5 more minutes, mom. Just 5 more minutes. The Blade Runner Classic released on Steam after. Oh, you get tomorrow. Tomorrow's Canada Day. Sick, dude. Yeah, I want to come to Canada. Can I come? Can I come to Canada? Would you guys accept me as a Canadian? Can I be Canadian? I want to be Canadian. Blade Runner Classic released on Steam after the remake or remaster. The remaster is apparently terrible. Everybody was kind of hyped about the remaster coming because this is kind of like a cult classic, the original Blade Runner, which apparently the original Blade Runner was only available on GOG, if I remember correctly, and the remaster got released on Steam. But it looks like now, I'm not going to pull this article up, but apparently now the original is going to be on Steam as well because the remaster is apparently just blah. That's cool. You get tomorrow off, gamer. That's awesome, man. I'm happy for you, dude. Yep, target turns 50. We've talked about that. Three and five think video games should be part of the core school. Wait, what? Real quick. I'm probably not going to read this whole thing, but core school curriculum. Yeah, I mean, all encompassing, I think everything that goes into making video games, if you're talking about all encompassing what video games are, right? I think it's actually something that I don't know if it necessarily needs to be core curriculum, but absolutely, I think that it would be a very good thing for there to be many facets of different areas of video game teaching within curriculum, and we're seeing more of it anyways. Whether it be the different art styles that come together within video games, um, how to create video games on level as like a coder, what have you. Um, Art goes into that as well, creation, because you're talking about digital design and things like that. Um, as well as, I mean, we've seen a lot of things coming together within the competitiveness of it, right? So even like high school teams are setting up competitive esports teams to compete against other high school teams, just much like high school, traditional high school athletics, right? So I don't know about maybe core curriculum, but I mean, a lot of what video games are ties into what a lot of other education is art, um, writing and music and of course technology, all encompassing is all throughout video games and stuff, and technology is a huge part of our world today. So technology, the many different areas of technology are huge parts of education nowadays too, and that goes into it. So um, it would be a great thing for sure. But as I mean, when the way I take them saying core curriculum is like something that you would have to take, right? And not everybody's necessarily. I don't know if I see video games as something that people should have to have to be exposed to in an public education system or anything. But I guess that could be said for other subjects as well, right? Yeah, I do. Yeah. Hmm. Yep, I do. I keep track of. I mean, here's the thing. I don't get on there like on the constant. I don't worry about it that much. I look occasionally. I look occasionally to see how things are kind of trending and doing and stuff like that. Yeah, but I don't worry about it too much. I just do what I do. Yeah. Um. I there's definitely something to be said for trying to find, as a content creator, trying to find things that are going to be picked up very quickly as far as content, and spread very, very quickly content wise, things like that, and that are going to trend and stuff, right? There's definitely something to be said for that. That's not necessarily the market that I'm in. I'm not the kind of content creator that I am always looking around to try to create content that is trying to boost my channel count, my viewer count, and stuff like that. I am only interested in doing what I love to do, right? That's what my mindset is. Creating this community in the way I want it to be created, playing video games, putting my playthroughs up on YouTube, and doing the news, and making clips of fun stuff, funny stuff, that happens in the community. And I throw it up there, and if people enjoy it and they think that what they are finding as far as the stuff on YouTube that we're doing within the community looks cool and something they'd be interested in doing, then hopefully they'll come and hang out with us, right? That's what YouTube is for me. That's it. Not doing YouTube as like a monetary thing. It's just an outreach program basically for me to try to expose our community to other people in the world that might not be aware of what that our Twitch channel is a thing, and hopefully get a little bit more exposure to people that could be like-minded and want to come hang out with us. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Arcade Paradise launches on PS4 and PS5 and on August 11th. Take a look at that. We talked about this already. I would say anybody I could see how people could drive themselves crazy worrying about those kinds of numbers as a content creator, because they're deep too. You go into like the analytics both on Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that. You can go all deep dive into the analytics of who's visiting your channel, what videos are the most popular, and how are they finding your videos. And what I'll say is that I do take a pretty extensive amount of time to try to make sure that whenever I'm not just taking my videos and just making them public and uploading them, I am literally taking I'm very deliberate in what I do. Yeah, I'm very deliberate in what I do with my videos. I put an extensive amount of information in there regarding our community, all kinds of different tags and stuff like that to try to reach a significant amount of the gaming community that might be on YouTube, to have them potentially come across our videos when doing searches, or just to have the videos pop up whenever they're finished watching other videos or what have you that might be in a similar genre, things of that nature, right? I do. That's one of the reasons that YouTube takes so much time for me. It's been a learning process. I'm getting much better at it, but I am not just like random mode time. By the way, dude, I just keep getting those. I don't just like get a take a VOD, put it on YouTube, and then just make it public and just go, yo, here it is, right? I mean, I am very deliberate about a lot of the details I put in, and tags and things like that. So it is a very deliberate attempt by me to try to set it up as a way to reach other people for our community. And again, I mean, it's just one of those things where I feel like all I can do is focus on what I love to do, which is create video game content, video game news content, and if it's meant to be, man, it'll happen. You know, just keep doing what I love to do, and honing this skill that I feel like the more I do this, the more I see things that I can do, you know, differently or better or what have you, and just try to keep doing what I can do, you know, to the best of my ability. That's it. But really focusing on what I love to do and creating the content that I love. That's what this is about. And hopefully it'll keep attracting people that enjoy the same thing. Last page, then we'll get into these articles. Dragon's Dogma 2. Okay, look, man. All of these, you ask a question like that, and I know that you always go, all I needed was a yes or no. I go into depth because you're not the only person that could potentially be in the channel. You're not the only person that is potentially going to get this information. So, yes, while I am speaking to you, the reason I go into depth, and I've tried to express this to you before, is because all of these videos do go on YouTube, right? And so, expressing what we do here, if a question comes up, allowing, you know, giving me the opportunity to elaborate a little bit more on what we do here, why I do what I do. I'm going to take that opportunity to express that information, right? I've tried to express that before. I'm not trying to overflow you particularly with information, but every single video that I make does come up as a VOD on Twitch. It does go into YouTube as a video as well, which could always reach somebody new, right? And this could be information for them that would be good for them to hear from me, right? So I'm not trying to give you information that you've already heard before, or go into more detail than you were expecting to get from it, but understand that you are not the only person that would potentially be hearing this, right? So anytime I get prompted by a question that I feel like I can elaborate on and give people more information about what we do here and why I do what I do, I'm going to take that opportunity, right? So, and it's not even just for the VODs. There can be people hanging out that are lurking, stuff like that. I am a talker also, yeah. If you're not a talker, you're not engaging with your community. And if you're not engaging with your community, I feel like you're going to have a very tough time getting anywhere in content creation, at least as a broadcaster or whatever. So if you wanted me to just sit here and not engage with you and just go, yes, no, no, yes, you're not going to get that from me, man. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. Yeah, I'm a talker. But that's also part of what my job is, to engage with people. So, short one word answers or whatever. No, you're not going to get that from me. You've been here long enough to know that by now too, and I I get this response from you quite often where it's, I didn't need that much from you. I didn't need that much from you, you know. And at this point, I feel like you should probably know, you know, if I'm going to elaborate on things, you know. So I'm not trying to turn you off, but at the same time, this is my job, is to engage with people. If I get a question, I'm going to elaborate on it a little bit. And part of the reason that I'm going to elaborate is because I'm not necessarily just going to be talking to you, but I'm talking to everybody that's going to be here. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I feel like I've tried to express this before, and I feel like I keep getting engaged by you when you give me questions and I elaborate on things. Like I should just shut up, kind of, you know, like I talk too much or whatever. When it's literally my job. So I don't know how else to come at a when I get engaged like that by you, when you come at me like that, right? As like I didn't need that much information. Just yes or no. You're not going to get that from me, man. And I feel like we've gone over this before. So, I mean, if I'm coming off as a little bit perturbed by it, I am. I am a little bit. I appreciate the crap out of you, gamer. I really do, man. And I appreciate you always being here and being engaging with what we do and what we go over. I absolutely do. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. But when I get you coming at me with basically a shut up is what it comes off as. You know, that's how it comes off as. Is I don't take it very well because I'm not just going to give one word answers most of the time. I'm going to elaborate on things. If I get prompted by somebody in the community um, in regards to something, I'm going to talk about it. It's literally my job. Because, again, it's for anybody that could potentially be here or view this at some point. Moving on. Mamzelle, what's up? Good morning, my friend. We talked about this yesterday. Gamers are debating whether teabagging is sexual. Hmm. I would say the term used for what is done is for that action is sexual. Yep. Skull and Bones gets a release date. Did we already see a release date for this? I can't remember. Well, I know that we had read that they were finally saying it was officially coming out. All right, let's stick with this. Arcade Paradise launches on PS4 and PS5 on August 11th. Hello, everyone. I am Andreas, CEO and founder of Nosebleed Interactive. We've been developing our retro arcade part sim management game Arcade Paradise for the past 3 years, and I'm super excited and relieved to reveal that the game will launch on PS4 and PS5 on August 11th. You can also wishlist the game on PS5 now. Arcade Paradise is a 90s theme arcade management simulator where every game is fully playable. You play as Ashley, a 19-year-old college dropout tasked by your father, played marvelously by the award-winning Doug Cockle. You may know him as Geralt from the Witcher series. You manage the day-to-day tasks of running the family's King Wash laundromat business. Things start to get interesting when you discover that those dusty old arcade machines lying in the back room have more business potential than the actual laundromat. Kaching. Ashley's imagination runs wild, and you embark on a journey that takes you from the dreary dead end job to arcade empire as you experience what it'd be like to run your own games arcade. Over 35 playable arcade games to unlock within the game, which have all been built from the ground up, and each game has its own gameplay, stories, missions, and high scores to set. From development point of view, this gave us quite a few challenges. We'll save that for another blog discussion, though. I want an arcade. Wash, profit, rinse, repeat. I'm excited to also be able to give you a first look at our new release date trailer, The Grind, which showcases the core gameplay loop, revealing how managing profits, grinding through very video gamey, apparently mundane, but actually weirdly enjoyable chores allows players to build and expand their very own arcade empire. Unblocking the toilet, peeling gum off floors, doing the laundry, and picking up litter all act as minigames, from which you can reinvest profits into the arcade. In Arcade Paradise, you'll need to juggle the laundromat management and arcade management, and you'll need to play the games in order to maximize their profitability. It's safe to say the road to Arcade Paradise won't be easy, but we'll think it's super fun. Relive 90s gaming nostalgia. If you grew up like in the 90s like me, you'll probably know and appreciate just how popular arcades were. As a teenager, I was obsessed with video games and skateboarding and music. We were inspired by classic arcade games from past 3 decades. The game takes you through the 8, 16, and 32-bit eras with inspirations up to the original PlayStation era, but we've also tried to add a modern take so each game feels authentic, but in reality, they are much more modern. For us, Arcade Paradise is a celebration of the greatest ever gaming era. In fact, the game is so nostalgia inducing, you can almost feel the sticky arcade carpet. As with video games, we are also big fans of music, and in particular, music from the 90s. It was an amazing era for music, not least because of its creativity and range of amazing genres. The soundtrack to Arcade Paradise is inspired by some of the greatest music of that decade, providing a thumping, high energy accompaniment via the in game jukebox. Arcade Paradise is the biggest game we have ever created as a studio. We can't wait for you to embark on your journey from rags to arcade riches when it launches on PS4 and PS5 August 11th. Cool, man. Run your own arcade. Sick. Wow. Cool. Gamers are debating whether teabagging players is sexual assault. No. 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 For as long as there's been a crouching option in multiplayer games, teabagging has existed. I'm sure I don't need to explain this one, but just in case anyone's grandma is reading this, teabagging is basically gaming's universal taunt. Mash crouch while stood over a dead player's head, and assuming you're playing as a male character, it looks like you're dragging your nards across there. Your nards, dude. I haven't heard anybody refer to that part of the male anatomy as nards in a very long time. That's fantastic. Some people find teabagging hilarious, others might find it a little annoying. Generally, those who find themselves dying a lot, just saying. However, as reported by Game Rant, a debate is raging over the internet as at the minute as to whether teabagging can be considered to be much worse than a simple irritating taunt, but actually sexual assault. Series of screenshots from a Discord conversation were shared by at Jake Sucky on Twitter, showing a number of users discussing the topic. We get into games where people think it is okay to teabag, and that it's funny. When really, it's sexual assault, one user said. We live in a gross world. I just want to help. Oh my, dude, get out. What? Oh, dude, look at this. You got, dude, another user replied, if teabagging is sexual assault, I'm a repeated sex offender. To which someone replied, I mean, it is sexual assault. If I do not consent and someone rubs their nards in my face, that's sexual assault. I wouldn't be proud of being a repeat offender. You may think it's just a video game, they continued. Well, I grew up with a large crowd of boys who did that for fun all the time to other people in real life? What? I'm sure we can all agree that doing such an act in real life without someone's consent is definitely an issue. Yeah. But the debate seems to be raging on as to whether it should be considered to be problematic in games. Regardless, it seems unlikely to be a behavior that'll ever change the game. I've always seen it just as a way to troll somebody out. It wasn't necessarily about what was happening within the act of it being some kind of like crude, volatile, even possible sexual thing in nature within the video game. I've always seen it more as just a way to troll somebody out by saying, I got you. You know what I mean? Uh, Troll somebody out, make them mad. I got you. You know? Um, and it was referred to as teabagging because of what it resembled. Um, and of course, in this day and age, it's going to be taken to this whole other level where everything offends everybody. And, um, you know, or there's always going to be somebody that takes this to an extreme, basically, and takes offense to it, like my in-game character is being sexually assaulted because I'm getting teabagged. Oh, it's wild, dude, wild. Ubisoft Skull and Bones gets a release date. The long-awaited pirate game from Ubisoft, Skull and Amp Bones, finally has a release date. If these leaks are true, it's coming far sooner than expected. What's the best Assassin's Creed game of all time? Bingo, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which was so shockingly ambitious in its vision and scope. It's hard to look back and realize how old the game actually is now. For those who haven't played Black Flag and don't know where I'm going with this, Ubisoft knows how to make pirate games set in tropical locations. They've done it fantastically well once, and they can do it again. Only this time we aren't going to be setting foot on dry land. It's all about the boats, baby. Does that sound exciting? Well, if so, you'll be even happier to hear that we finally got a release date for Skull and Bones. When is the release date? As reportedly as reported by known leaker, I'm not even going to try to attempt that name. Skull and Bones will be released ahead of schedule on November 8th of this year. We thought we had to wait until May of 2023, but it seems not. This was actually corroborated by the infamous leaker Tom Henderson. Yeah, we read about Tom Henderson all the time. Um, really? Okay. If this is really the case, which we think it is now, Tom Henderson has co-signed it, then you can expect Ubisoft to come out with an official corroboration of this release date very soon. Obviously, they would have preferred to reveal the news themselves, but now it's out there, and thanks to leakers, it always will be. We already know that GTA 6 setting, for instance, they have to get ahead of the story. They need to control the narrative, as ridiculous as that phrase sounds in such trivial context. We'll update you as soon as we get more official news from the team about Skull and Bones. Huh. Okay. Dude, this game, when did Skull and Bones start in development? I'm talking like 2016, 2017. No. When did development start on this? This game began development in 2013, man. And there's been various times where they've been like, we're going to release, yeah, right here. Originally set to release in quarter 4 of 2018, delayed to 2019. Uh, and again to March 2020 or March of 2020. Then pushed back to April to 2021 to March of 2022. It's just constantly been pushed back. Now we're getting like November of this year, huh? So we'll see. You see something like this. Look again. I mean, a delay is good to an extent, right? A necessary delay to make sure a game is done right and isn't going to be released as a hot mess. Like we're cool with that, right? But at the same time, we're talking 4 years worth of delays now, right? And it's like, what's going on? There's something wrong, right? There's something wrong. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. See what happens. 1 second. Hmm. Uh, Canceled Donald Duck video game footage leaks online. New gameplay footage from a canceled video game associated with Donald Duck has appeared online. A little over a decade ago, Disney Interactive Studios released the game Epic Mickey on Wii. The title was later followed by a sequel, Epic Mickey 2: The Power of Two, and was also planned to have a spin-off centered around Donald. While this game ended up getting scrapped, we've now been given an idea of what it would have looked like. Coming by way of YouTube channel Slope's Game Room, the first ever footage from Epic Donald, the planned title of this Donald Duck game, has now been revealed. The gameplay that is shown in the video seemingly comes from a prototype version of the title that was built in 2012. As such, much of what is seen is very rough. It gives us an idea of the world that developer Junction Point Studios was looking to create. Also highlights some of the powers that Donald himself would have had at his disposal in the game. You can see some of this footage from Epic Donald for yourself in the video below. Even though the Epic Mickey series had some success, the reason that Epic Donald never came to be is because Junction Point Studios ended up shuttering not long after the release of Epic Mickey 2. In 2013, the studio was closed down only for Disney Interactive Studios itself to lay off hundreds of employees the following year. As a whole, Disney Interactive Studios then ended up closing a couple of years later in 2016. Because of this, Epic Donald ended up naturally getting canceled in the midst of all these closures. Despite this sad ending for Epic Donald, it's fascinating to see that gameplay footage still exists all these years later. Slope's Game Room didn't reveal the specifics behind how they came to acquire this video, but it seems like that a former developer on the project may have been sitting on this footage. Either way, it's interesting to see what this game could have become if it had ever completed development. Not necessarily my jam, the Disney stuff, but people dig it. I get it. Um, for me, there's just enough. um, Kingdom Hearts is enough Disney stuff, man. So I don't know, but people love Disney. I don't have anything against Disney necessarily, and I like a lot of their movies and stuff, but just like I don't know, as far as video games go and stuff, I just don't gravitate towards Disney stuff. It's just not my thing. Return to Monkey Island dev is refusing to talk about the game due to toxic fans. This is why we can't have nice things. Ron Gilbert, the co-writer of Return to Monkey Island, has said he will no longer be posting insights into the sequel's development due to several unnecessary negative comments. In the comments section of a post on his blog, grumpygamer.com, Ron said, "I'm shutting down comments. People are just being mean and I'm having to delete personal attack comments. It appears that a lot of the negativity has stemmed from some people not being a fan of Return to Monkey Island's new art style. It's an amazing game and everyone on the team is very proud of it. Play it or don't play it, but don't ruin it for everyone else." Gilbert's comment continues, "I won't be posting any more about the game. The joy of sharing has been driven away from me." Man, that sucks. A few months ago, Gilbert actually addressed the potential backlash following the reveal of Return to Monkey Island, due to the game abandoning its original retro look. The first Monkey Island game, The Secrets of Monkey Island, was released back in 1990, and it appears some fans were hoping to see more of the same style of game, despite it being over 30 years since it was released. The voice actor for Return to Monkey Island's Guybrush Threepwood, Dominic Armato, also shared their frustration about the comments on Twitter by sharing a screenshot of Gilbert's comment and adding, Bang up job, everybody. I've seen a lot of passionate but polite adjacent discussion going on, but the comments on Ron's blog were a total crap show. If you haven't been keeping up to date, it was revealed earlier this week that Return to Monkey Island is a Switch console launch exclusive. Yep, that was on the showcase 2 days ago. Don't worry though, the swashbuckling adventure game is also due to release on PC too. In preparation for launch, Return to Monkey Island also got a new website recently, which is actually a playable adventure game in itself. The new website gives us a little more info about the upcoming game, but we're still waiting for confirmation of that all-important release date. Yep. F122 review, a stunning racing game sullied by money grubbing. Fantastic. Supreme playability is sidetracked by a new mode designed to let players live the gilded life of an F1 driver and start paying for it. Which is actually the entire opposite of what usually happens for anyone that's actually an F1 driver in real life. You are rich. In the real world, Formula One is enjoying one of its highest profile seasons ever. A change in regulations has made cars more raceable than they have been for years. And the contest between the obscenely talented young Chargers Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc is thrilling. This year's iteration of the officially licensed Formula One video game, F122, has technical virtuosity required to capitalize on the real sport's ever-growing status. There's a problem, an ugly and very modern one. F122 includes a new mode, F1 Life, that is supposed to let you vicariously experience the enviable lifestyle of a Formula One driver. You're given an apartment which you can kit out with bling, virtual furnishings, and accessorize with supercars and virtual clothes from real brands for your avatar. Leaving aside the cloth-eared tone of super-rich virtual image projection at a time when unprecedented numbers of people are resorting to food banks and struggling to pay energy bills. F1 Life comes across as a cynical means of introducing microtransactions into a hitherto unsullied racing game. This is exactly what pessimists predicted would happen when FIFA Madden giant EA Sports bought F1 developer Codemasters last year. Yep, F1 Life's virtual attack can be bought with Bitcoin. Yuck. Yeah, an in-game currency available in exchange for real money. Although the game does give you some for free, and at least there are no randomized loot boxes. Everything you can... It sucks that we even have to say that. At least there are no randomized loot boxes. Everything you can buy is cosmetic and has no impact on gameplay. Even so, it feels as though a venerable franchise has been dirtied up a bit. On the track, F122 is superb, even by Codemasters' exalted standards. The new cars have bigger wheels and lower profile tires, so Codemasters had to come up with an entirely new physics model for them. But they handled it very convincingly, feeling noticeably different to last year's machinery. There's no story mode, but F122 has plenty to do. Has been enhanced by judicious tweaks. F122 is technically stunning, and that combined with the chance to drive this year's cars on this year's tracks should make it irresistible to Formula One fans, as long as they manage to ignore the egregious F1 life. That sucks, dude. Just never ends, does it? These major devs trying to suck as much money as they can out of people, man. It's terrible. Xbox fans are calling for the end of Games with Gold. Xbox fans are calling for the end of Xbox Live Gold's Games with Gold program, which in its current iteration awards Xbox Live Gold subscribers on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Xbox Series X 2 Xbox One games every month, 2 backward compatible Xbox games every month. While PlayStation has added PS5 games to the mix with its identical service PS Plus, Xbox has yet to shake things up for the new generation. And that's not the only way Games with Gold is lagging behind. The games it offers each and every month are consistently underwhelming, especially compared to what the competition is offering. Yesterday, Xbox revealed July's Games with Gold lineup, And it's another very disappointing lineup of games, comprised of 2 games that have been made free in the past and another 2 most won't care about. If you haven't seen the lineup, it's comprised of the following games: Beasts of Maravilla Island, Relicta, Thrillville, Off the Rails, and Torchlight. Yeah, we read about that. As you would expect, Xbox fans haven't been very receptive to the announcement, at least not in the replies to the Xbox Wire post relaying the news. In fact, some have gone as far as to call for the end of Games with Gold. Time to get rid of it. Please just suspend the Games with Gold program or make it a $5 thing at least. Maybe it's time to scrap Xbox Live Gold and just add the funds from this into the Game Pass. Combine what you would pay for these 4 monthly games and maybe put one single higher tier game into Game Pass. It's time to announce the July Games with Gold lineup. On the Xbox One and Xbox Series XS, capture photos of the wondrous, and then this. Bro, we just had Torchlight back in 2019 August. Why are you giving us repeated games we just had? I mean, yeah, that's 3 years ago. That's 3 years ago. Almost 3 years ago. That is That's not just had that. That's like a year ago would be like we just had that. PS Plus be having bomb free games, but not games with gold just all dried out of energy. Hmm. Um, that's funny. All right. Well, that's it. They're just showing a bunch of tweets, people upset. Owner of itch.io accuses newly launched alternative W3 itch.io of theft, as well as copying another site's user interface. W3 itch.io is apparently selling games without their creators' consent. Hmm. Another contender for Web3 is going just great. The satirical website that documents each new disaster related to the ongoing blockchain based reinvention of the internet. In its own words, W3itch.io is an open marketplace for independent game creators where anyone can sell games and set their own prices. Sounds a lot like itch.io, a popular website that already exists, except for one key difference. W3itch.io plans to incorporate NFTs, cryptocurrency payments, and other Web3 technology. Ugh, dude. Itch hasn't been shy about making its position plain, declaring that NFTs are a scam earlier this year. Given that Steam has banned games with NFTs or cryptocurrency, it's natural that developers desperate to incorporate the blockchain into games want an alternative. It seems unlikely W3itch.io will be that alternative for long, as the site looks suspiciously similar to itch.io, and its owner has admitted to using itch.io's CSS files. That's what I figured. You have stolen the UI of Itch, said Itch's founder, Leif Corcoran, blatantly ripping it off, in addition to using our name directly in your project. As far as I'm concerned, this is a scam to trick people by using @Itch's established brand on an unrelated project for your own profit. Corcoran reported the issue as a bug on W3itch.io's GitHub page, which is the most developer way of handling the situation I can imagine. The problem goes further than ripping off web page design, however, as Cochran noted. Additionally, upon going through the content on your platform, it appears you have stolen many games for re-upload without the consent of the creators of the games. For the sake of respecting creators and their work, I request that you remove stolen content from your platform. An official response from W3itch.io came via Twitter. It says, if you find that your content has been stolen, please leave a comment under this tweet or give me a DM and we'll contact its uploader to coordinate with him or her to remove these contents. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the community for the offense we caused. Browse through the games on W3itch.io brings up quite a few RPG Maker projects that are available elsewhere. Rather than link to them there, here are the official homes of a couple of notable examples. Spooky Puzzle Game, latest translation of Mortis Ghost's Perplexing Mystery off. Okay. Dude, that's wild. Just rip off somebody else's stuff, man. Crazy. All right. Valve has quietly downgraded the Steam Deck solid state drive on some 256 gigabyte and 512 gigabyte models. The latest Silicon lottery could see you bagging not quite what you paid for. Um, did I go into a coma for like a month or something? What day is it? What's the date? Original story, July 29th of 2022. Apparently, this story is from the future. So, um, we'll just have to keep that in mind here, okay? If you ordered a Steam Deck, there's something you should know. Valve recently tweaked the listed specs, meaning you could potentially land a model with a downgraded solid state drive. We're going to read this update after this, okay? The change affects the 256 gig and 512 gig devices, but not all of them. So you won't know if you're getting the slower storage until you actually have it in your hand. The news slipped under the radar, but apparently Valve did some testing and in late May decided that some Steam Decks would be coming with a PCI Express 3.0 times 2 solid state drive instead of the initially specified times 4 solid state drive. Using only 2 lanes of the PCIe interface means the drive has half the potential bandwidth of a 4-lane connection. And solid state drives spec'd out with a times 2 interface are generally slower in themselves too. Under the storage heading in the spec table, the Steam Deck site now reads 256 gig NVMe solid state drive, PCIe Gen 3 times 4 or PCIe Gen 3 times 2 with an asterisk. 512 gigabyte high-speed NVMe as solid-state drive, PCIe Gen 3 times 4 or PCIe Gen 3 times 2 with an asterisk. The asterisk denotes some 256 and 512 gigabyte models shipped with a PCIe Gen 3 times 2 solid-state drive. In our testing, we did not see any impact to gaming performance between the times 2 and times 4. A quick check on the Wayback Machine confirms this detail was only added after May 28th and since May 27th, clearly states both drives will run on the times 4 NVMe interface, as reported by Hardware Lux. Valve is adamant that the change won't affect gaming performance. Responding to a request for comment, Valve said the users won't notice a difference except in extremely uncommon cases. If you want to find out which version you have, hold down your Steam Deck's power button, select desktop mode, then search Device Viewer in the Applications menu search bar. Under Devices, go to Storage Devices and tap the hard disk drive. In the right panel, it'll have a code. Yeah, this tells you all about how to figure out which one. If you look at the difference in performance on the Phison website between the E13 and E08 controllers, you're talking about potentially having the peak writing performance of the drive. Though it is worth noting that even a times 2 NVMe solid state drive will be twice as quick as a standard SATA solid state drive and far slicker than an old spinning platter hard drive, HHD. Or HDD, I mean, hard disk drive, which you couldn't really fit in a Steam Deck anyways, yeah. It's unclear why Valve decided to change the specs, but I'm guessing those who are unaware of the change and have already made their purchase may have something to say. Yeah. The update as of today, Valve has explained the reasoning behind the different SSDs and told us that in extremely uncommon cases, differences in read and write speed caps may minimally impact file transfer speeds, but OS operating system performance, loading times, game performance, and game responsiveness are identical between the times 2 and times 4 drives. Wild. Update was a month from now, by the way. So keep that in mind also. These were written virtually a month in the future. So, just know that this might not have actually taken place yet, but that a month in the future, this is something that's going to happen. Okay? Cool. Yeah. If you need more info in regards to like the actual numbers, the models and stuff like that, if you have a Steam Deck there, it's in chat. Excuse me. In letter to board, enthusiast leadership asks CEO to step down. 4 vice president level executives at the publicly traded esports and gaming media company Enthusiast Gaming authored a letter to Enthusiast's board of directors requesting that the board ask CEO Adrian Montgomery to resign. In the letter, which was reviewed by the Washington Post, the group cites failures around strategic planning and equity distribution, as well as issues relating to staffing the company's human resources department as threats to enthusiasts' long-term well-being. The letter followed a contentious private call held June 23rd, during which a larger group of executives at Enthusiast asked Montgomery to resign, according to current Enthusiast employees familiar with the discussion. The confrontation took place during a scheduled weekly meeting for executive leadership and was attended by the company's C-suite, as well as several vice presidents at the company. 3 of the letter's signatories declined to comment when contacted by the Washington Post. One signatory could not be reached. Quote, Enthusiast Gaming values each and every single one of its committed employees, wrote Eric Bernofsky, Enthusiast's chief corporate officer, in a statement to the Post. The fact is, since our current leadership joined, we have dramatically improved our financial performance and significantly increased our standing in the public markets. For Enthusiast, which owns a number of video game-focused publications and brands, such as Upcomer and Addicting Games, as well as the esports organization Luminosity Gaming, the internal call for the CEO's resignation follows a month of bad news. On May 24th, the investment firm Graywood Investments, Enthusiast's largest shareholder, announced a campaign to replace the CEO and the board of directors with its own slate of nominees, citing grave concerns over the Toronto-based company's direction. Graywood had no involvement in any meetings or letters between the senior leaders and CEO of Enthusiast, said Joel Schaefer, a spokesperson for Graywood, in response to questions from the Post. In a statement to the Post, Bernofsky suggested Graywood's campaign was at odds with the best interests of other shareholders. Graywood Investments, a newly formed entity running a proxy battle against Enthusiast Gaming, has no plan, no financing, and no management team to lead the company. Bernofsky said, masking these facts, Graywood has resorted to a campaign of distortion, imperiling shareholder value in the process. Enthusiast is confident in the support of its shareholders for its strategy to build the largest media and content platform for video gaming and esports fans to connect and engage worldwide. In the Thursday executive leadership meeting, Montgomery was questioned about the distribution of equity to staff. The CEO told attendees that in 2022, approximately 80% of restricted stock units, which are traditionally granted as incentives for employees, were distributed to the board and C-suite. According to a current Enthusiast employee familiar with the discussion, in the letter to Enthusiast's board, that 80% figure is mentioned as a factor in the group's decision to seek Montgomery's resignation. The executives who confronted Montgomery on the call conveyed to the CEO they felt the company was adrift and said they believed leadership was not following through on strategic objectives, according to multiple current Enthusiast employees familiar with the content of the call. In March, Enthusiast abruptly laid off a significant portion of the editorial staff at its esports and gaming news website, Upcomer. The layoffs followed dramatic changes in traffic goals for the team, as well as the sidelining of former Enthusiast founder Menashe Kestenbaum, who initially championed the vertical, according to Digiday. Kestenbaum declined comment for this article, citing the advice of his lawyers. The long one. On June 2nd, Luminosity Gaming, a subsidiary of Enthusiast, unexpectedly announced it would be leaving competitive Valorant. At the time, their Valorant team was in the midst of one of its best performances to date, making it to the North American playoffs in the Valorant Champions Tour. On Monday, the high performing Luminosity roster and its coach were transferred to a different organization, Shopify Rebellion. Quote, the company is truly not operating at 100% capacity, said one current enthusiast employee who spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak with press. We have employees who I know are fielding job offers. I'm getting job offers because even though the economy is turning down, we have some really good people at Enthusiast. On June 7th, Greywood announced it intended to nominate Shingo Liu, a current Enthusiast employee and the co-founder of UGG, a League of Legends analytics platform, and a recent Enthusiast acquisition to the new board. Liu shared the news in an Enthusiast Slack channel with over 250 employees, entreating other employees to ask him questions and spark a spirited but largely cordial conversation between staff and some members of the company's leadership over Enthusiast direction and treatment of employees, according to messages viewed by the Post. Some of Liu's posts were later deleted, and a message shared to the channel and viewed by the Post. Liu wrote, the posts above have been removed as I have been advised they are defamatory and full of misrepresentations. I apologize for inadvertently contributing any misinformation on this employee channel. On June 13th, Enthusiast announced its own slate of proposed board members, including 6 incumbent directors and 3 new nominees. Only one director declined to seek re-election. Francisco Aquilini, the Canadian investor whose family business, the Aquilini Investment Group, owns the Vancouver Canucks NHL team. I am thankful for my time on the board and know that the company's directors and management will continue to drive growth. Aquilini wrote in a statement, shareholders should be excited for the future of Enthusiast Gaming. The right team is in place to take the company to the next level. Filings to the Securities and Exchange Commission in the first 5 months of 2022 show Greywood acquiring increasingly large stakes in Enthusiast. In those filings, Greywood is described as an investment manager for a company called Vantage Trading and a number of other investment vehicles, chiefly managed by the investors Sasha Sabo and Mark Preston. Huh. Wild. All right. The more you know, man. Okay, let's skim this real quick. Mario Rabbids Spark of Hope, the new Mario Rabbids game that got announced the other day during the Nintendo showcase, right? Will feature music from gaming's biggest composers. There's something else that was shown on the title of this when we pulled it up that I wanted to see too. I can't remember what it was right now though. Let's see. Um, Creative director David Soliani was the one to reveal the trio, saying, I'm very happy to confirm the return of my dear friend, the super talented Grant Kirkhope, as a composer for Mario Rabbids Spark of Hope. He will not be alone this time, as we have assembled an exceptional crew of talent from around the world. He will be joined by Gareth Coker and Yoko Shimomura, 2 phenomenal composers that I'm beyond proud to now have on our journey. Kirkhope is well known for providing the soundtrack to classic titles from Rare, including Donkey Kong, Banjo-Kazooie, and GoldenEye 007, as well as more recent titles such as World of Warcraft Shadowlands Expansion and Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning. Joining him, Coker created soundtracks to both Ori games. Oh, nice. For which he won an Ivor Novello Award for Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Ark Survival Evolved, Immortalis Phoenix Rising, and Halo Infinite, amongst many, many more. Shimomura, on the other hand, has composed for games as far back as the late 1980s, such as Street Fighter II, Mario RPG, Legend of Mana, Final Fantasy 15, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and Ultimate, as well as most of the Kingdom Hearts titles that have released so far. Also lending her talents to the upcoming Legend of Mana, the Teardrop Crystal animated series, which is set for release in October. Wow, in other news, Pokemon Go creator Niantic has canceled 4 upcoming projects, cutting 8% of staff. That's what the other thing that I had read. They're coming out with a new game, though, right? We just read about this. Peridot. Yeah, like a digital pet kind of thing. We read about this. Weird. But they're also like firing staff. Weird. Last news article for the morning. We'll be done after this one, unless anybody has anything else you want to talk about, bring up. Let me know if you have anything that I potentially didn't cover today or haven't covered in the previous news segments that could be pertinent for the industry news that would be good for us to cover and know. Okay. Uh, Epic Game Store giving away surprise bonus free game this week. In a surprise move, the Epic Game Store adds a bonus free game for users to look forward to coming Thursday, June 30th. Yeah, initially the Epic Game Store only confirmed Gene Forge, 1, Mutagen, and Iratus, Lord of the Dead, as I was looking forward to grabbing Iratus for June 30th through July 7th. However, the Epic Game Store has decided to surprise users with the addition of a bonus free game that they will be able to claim within that same time window. So from June 30th to July 7th, Epic Game Store users will also be getting Hood, Outlaws, and Legends completely free of charge. Really? Check that out. Huh. For the uninitiated, Hood, Outlaws, and Legends is a PvP-focused game that just released last year. It received mostly mixed reviews from critics, but still, many who won't complain about getting a game for free. Yeah, it could potentially boost the game's player count as well, especially since there are no requirements to claiming a free game from the Epic Game Store, besides having the Epic Game Store launcher downloaded. Yeah, and having your account. Yeah. Yeah, you only have until later this morning to grab the other games that are free right now. Talking. Game of Thrones, the board game digital edition, right? And Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. You only have what? 2.5 more hours, I think, to grab these before all of these go free as well. So don't forget to grab your free games. Even if you don't think you're going to play them, you never know, man. You never know. Don't pass up free games. Don't pass up free games. And then later this morning, again, in roughly like 2.5 hours, you'll be able to grab all 3 of these for free. Cool? Don't forget. Don't forget. All right. That's all I got for news, guys. That's all I got. Thanks again to everybody who is part of this community. Everybody that was part of the news segment this morning, I appreciate it. If you're viewing this after the fact of it being live, if you're viewing this as a VOD, even on YouTube, then see what you can do. If you're enjoying the content, try to come hang out with us at 6 o'clock a.m. CST every single day where we do these live. And if you're enjoying the content, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Leave me a comment so we can have a bit of a discussion regarding some of these articles we went over today, okay? Other than that, just stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we will see everybody tomorrow for July 1st edition of Video Gaming News. A new month, all right?